I finished my final exam at the University of Leeds just 3 days ago. I've been here for the past 3 years, and in this video I'm going to be breaking down my full experience of the University of Leeds, the pros and the cons, and if you're somebody who's considering applying to the university, or maybe you have it as one of your 5 UCAS options, then by the end of this video I'll cover all the points to help inform your decision of whether this university is the university for you. So I'm going to be breaking this video down into 4 main sections. I'll start off with accommodation and halls. I'll then cover the academic experience at the University of Leeds before going over campus and facilities, and then finally the social side of the university, things like the societies and the nightlife.
Before I get into that, I'm going to give you guys a few drone shots of the campus for anybody who can't visit. This is my good friend Vic, who I met in my first year. We're using his drone today. If you have any videography needs, seriously, Vic is a magician with a camera, so he is the man you need. Check him out at VKM Visuals on Instagram if you need anything. Anyway, when we first arrived, it was windy, the rain was coming down, and we were starting to think we wouldn't even get the drone off the ground. But luckily the weather cleared up and we got some shots. And if you can't visit the campus, this will give you an opportunity to see what it's like from a bird's eye view and to see some of the buildings you might be studying in. So if we start with a 360 spin around campus, you can see the city centre there in the background, as well as the Edward Boyle Library, which is the biggest library on campus. And continuing round, here you can see the university gym called The Edge, and the Roger Stevens building, which is a pond outside and houses the famous Leeds Heron, which I walked past almost every day. As shown, there's lots of greenery on campus, and as we continue, now you can see the business school, which was where me and fellow economics students often studied. Now, almost completing the full circle, here you can see the Parkinson building as well as the Brotherton Library. And we'll now give you a shot of the Parkinson building, which is the building on the university logo. As mentioned, this green roof behind is the ceiling to the Brotherton Library. And continuing round, here we have the entrance to the campus as well as the Laidlaw Library, which is the 24/7 library at Leeds. So I hope that's given you a bit of an idea of what the campus is like, and now let's get back to my review.
So starting off with accommodation, Leeds offers a variety of options for first year students in terms of accommodation. You can live on campus or off campus. You can also have options of being catered or being self-catered. In my first year, I decided to stay at White Rose View. I've got a whole video touring that, so if you want to check that out, I'll leave a card in the top corner and you can see a tour of White Rose View. But to be honest, the decision of first year accommodation is really personal preference, depending on whether you want to be on the campus, off campus, or catered or self-catered, but there is a lot of variety and options. In terms of who you're living with, you'll just get a random pool of people. I was quite lucky and I got along with my first year flat, but this is just complete luck. So if you don't get along with your flat, remember that there is the whole accommodation there, and a lot of accommodations at Leeds are very sociable. I've got friends who made their main friends in the accommodation rather than their main flat, so don't get disheartened if you don't make the best of friends with your flatmates. In your second and third years, you'll need to sort out your own accommodation. This is something I'd recommend with starting earlier, as a lot of the best houses will be gone by December, but equally there are always houses coming onto the market, so you will be fine if you do leave it as well. If you choose to live with your friends, then there's options in Hyde Park and Headingley, and if you want to live in somewhere like a solo flat, then this will also be possible in the city centre. If you don't manage to sort out your accommodation, that's fine. There's often lots of spare rooms going on Facebook groups and WhatsApp groups, so if you jump on Facebook, I'm sure you'll be able to find a spare room. But yeah, the housing is not really a problem at the University of Leeds, and the accommodation and the housing overall has been a good experience for me. So now I'll be talking about my academic experience at the University of Leeds. So the University of Leeds ranks 21st in the UK for the Guardian rankings, and this is a ranking system that takes into account student feedback and teaching experience at the university. Typically, how my experience with economics worked and how most courses work from what I've heard is you get weekly lectures. This is where you learn the material, and then you get seminars, and in the seminars it's an opportunity to go more into detail and discuss the concepts and theories that you've learnt. And also you can get tutorials, so if there's a quantitative element to your subject, the tutor will go through on the whiteboard the mathematics of it, and you'll get the opportunity to consult with your peers and also ask any questions about what you don't understand. Personally, I much preferred the seminars. It was more engaging and you were involved, but of course you need the lectures to first learn the material to be able to do it in the seminars. And also bear in mind, it does depend. In some of the seminars, people were really switched on and talking and debating a lot. In others, people don't always do the readings. I've also been guilty of this. And so I think this applies at all universities, but that's just something to be aware of. In the first year, I got a lot of support. I had a past mentoring scheme where there was a third year student helping a group of us settle in and answer any questions. They introduced us to Scribber, which is a citation tool and something that I used all the way through to my third year of university. I also attended essay writing workshops, as this was something I needed to improve on. And on top of that, there was office hours throughout my university experience where I could go and talk to my lecturer, ask any questions, go through essay plans, and just get that extra bit of support for the times where I don't fully understand the material. One thing I will say about my academic experience at the University of Leeds is that it's more of an independent learning experience. For instance, if you go to a lecturer and you ask a question during office hours, they won't give you a direct answer. They'll more lead you in the right direction and prompt you. So you're not going to be spoon-fed all of the answers. You will need to put in the work on your side. For instance, go with a plan, go with an idea of what you think it is, and then they'll be much more willing to help you from there. So next, I'll be talking about the campus and facilities at the University of Leeds. So starting off with the Union, there's lots of great facilities here. There's your own co-op, there's bakeries, there's university shops, there's the terrace bar, and lots more. The campus is 5 to 10 minutes away from the city centre, so if there's anything else you want, you can always just walk to the city centre. This is one thing I've loved about the University of Leeds, it's very walkable. I've never brought my car up, I've always just walked everywhere around university, walked into the city centre, and it's been very manageable. So the University of Leeds has 4 main libraries. So starting off with the Brotherton Library, this is situated inside of the main Parkinson building, and this is one of the oldest libraries. It opened in 1936, and this is the library that has more of those Harry Potter old vibes. It even has its own museum inside of it. We then have the Edward Boyle Library. This was one of my personal favourites. This is the largest library at the University of Leeds and holds over 2,000 people. And to be honest, I've just spent hours at this library, so I'd really recommend the Edward Boyle Library. We then have the Health Sciences Library, which I personally didn't spend a lot of time at, but I've heard it's really nice. And then finally, there's the Laidlaw Library. This is the 24/7 library that's always open for those students who like to work in the evenings, or maybe if you have an essay deadline that is due the next day, you'll spend all night at the Laidlaw Library and you'll get it in on time. The campus also has its own gym called The Edge. This is something that I've been a member of. The Edge has great facilities. It was renovated in 2023, so all of the equipment's new in the gym. So if you're into your powerlifting or weight training, then I would really recommend this. There's also squash courts, there's badminton courts, there's a swimming pool, and it also offers a sauna and a steam room. So overall, there's lots of different facilities and there's something for everyone at the University of Leeds. One more that I want to talk about that I personally used is the Entrepreneurs Hub called Spark. And Spark will help you if you're interested in starting up your own business or startup. They offer free business consulting where business consultants will come in and offer and volunteer their help. They have different business workshops and they even have schemes where they will help funding for people with startup ideas. This is something I took advantage of. I entered into a competition where I did a Dragon's Den style pitch and I pitched for investment from the university and it's been a great experience. So I'd really recommend, you just make the most of all these facilities and there is a lot on offer at the University of Leeds. So next, moving on to the social side of Leeds. The University of Leeds has over 300 societies and the Union always ranks as one of the highest in terms of offering a variety of different societies. There's lots of different societies from sports to cultures to people interested in coffee and different types of food. So there really is something for everyone there. And I'd really recommend joining a society, going along something you're interested in and just putting yourself out there. Societies is always a great way to meet people, especially given you're both interested in a similar thing. For instance, I joined the kickboxing society and something I've heard about the sports society and experienced myself is that, you really get those close friends at those sports societies. You're training with them on a weekly basis, you're competing with them and you're socializing with them. So if you have a sport that you enjoy or a society that you're interested in, then the University of Leeds definitely will have something for you. Now, in terms of nightlife, this is something that Leeds has a good reputation for. There's definitely lots of different options for you if you're into hardcore drum and bass, indie music, or if you enjoy disco music. then there is lots of variety. So if you enjoy clubbing and this is something that you want to do, then the University of Leeds is definitely a good option for you. Also, the university has a very famous pub crawl. This is called the Otley Run, and it starts off in Headingley and finishes in the Leeds city centre. And there is a total of 16 pubs along this. So if you're more of a pub crawl person, don't want to go to nightclubs, then you can also take part in the Otley Run. Also, if you're not into clubbing, there's also lots of different things to do in the city centre that doesn't involve clubbing or drinking. For instance, there's axe throwing, there's flight club darts, there's bowling, there's mini golf, there's the cinema, and really you're spoiled for choice. The social side of Leeds is really good. We're close to the city centre, and we also have our own union with things to do there. So overall, I would rate the social side of my university experience highly. So I'm now going to summarise the main points. So the 4 sections that I've just covered and pretty much everything at university, I do believe the more you put in, the more you'll get out. In terms of societies, the more you engage with the facilities, the more you engage and use all of these facilities, and just uni in general, the more you put in, the more you put yourself out there, you make friends, you network, you take advantage of the career opportunities as well as the lectures and seminars, then you'll make the most of your university experience. Overall, I really enjoyed my experience at the University of Leeds. The campus is great. We're 5 to 10 minute walk from the city centre. Also, Leeds as a whole is a really, really big student area. There's 5 universities in the Leeds area, with 2019 reporting 60,000 students. And so it's one of the largest student populations in the UK. So there's a really nice student culture and atmosphere throughout Leeds. And there's lots of different opportunities and support throughout your studies here at the University of Leeds. So that's my overall experience at the University of Leeds. If you have any specific questions, then drop them below and I'll reply to you. And thank you very much for watching. I hope you have a great rest of your day.